Hey guys, Mr. Jalapeno here with another home maintenance tip. And on today's project, I'm going to show you how to repair this damaged area here between the tile and the ceiling in the shower. And as you can see on the ceiling, the drywall is damaged, so we're going to be repairing that as well. So there's a couple different ways you could approach this repair. You could either tape off the ceiling and apply grout, or tape off the tile and apply caulk instead. I'm going to be taping off the tile, that way I could do the drywall repair like I mentioned. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my utility blade and I'm going to cut out the damaged drywall. Just be super careful whenever you're using a utility blade, you don't want to cut yourself. And here I'm just making sure I'm getting rid of anything that's loose, that way when I apply this Easy Sand 5, it's going to adhere better. A lot of people call this hot mud. All you have to do is just add a little bit of water, mix it up, and there you go. I usually recommend a sour cream consistency, but since this one is on the ceiling, I recommend a peanut butter consistency, if that makes any sense. And after the pre-fill, I'm just going to apply some of this Fibofuse tape over the patch. This is going to help strengthen it, that way it doesn't crack in the future. Then I applied a little bit of hot mud over the Fibofuse tape. I also wiped off the excess mud with the wet rag, that way it blends a little bit better. And for the texture, I'm going to be using this little texture bag. You can also just use joint compound for the texture. And to apply the texture, I'm going to be using this method I call the jalapeno flicker. And obviously, if you don't have texture, just skip this step. So once the texture's on the wall, I usually wait from 5 to 10 minutes before I knock it down. I like using the magic trowel to knock the texture down, but you can also use your putty knife, so you don't necessarily need the magic trowel. And after I was done with all that, I just removed that old dirty blue tape from the tile. And then I just grabbed my utility blade and I cut the old grout out. Now it's time to put some new blue tape, and I'm putting it about 1/4 inch away from the ceiling. This is going to make this area look much better once I'm done painting. But before I started painting, I made sure I got some of this extreme stretch caulk to fill in the gap. There seems to be a lot of movements in this area and the grout cracked right away, but this extreme stretch caulk should hold up a little bit longer. So once you're done applying the caulk, just make sure you remove the excess with either a caulking tool. I'm using my finger, but those caulking tools work pretty good as well. Next thing I did was paint everything with my brush. Just be careful not to dig out the caulking with your brush because it does tend to happen. Make sure you feather out the paint with your brush, that way it blends better. And after all that, I can now remove that blue tape, and as you can see, it's a nice straight line. The homeowner was super happy with how it turned out. What do you think? Do you like how I did this repair, or would you have done something different? Let me know in the comments. And that's how the cookie crumbled. Jalapeno Solutions. Boom!